Yasir has touched upon a very important subject. The purpose of the ba'athat or the arrival of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he mentioned that I have come to perfect the manners. This is part one. Islam has a specific goal. Islam wants to create a human being which is good in manners, a good citizen, and good leader. So three things Islam has its goal: character, citizenship, and leadership, with the aim to succeed in this world and hereafter. And this success is not confined and limited just to the specific group of people, not to a specific color, not to a specific group of people who speak a specific language. This success is meant for the entire humanity. Whosoever obeys Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His messenger indeed has achieved a great success. That is the message of Islam. Sheikh Yasir just touched upon the importance of having a good character. And today, inshallah, I will try to address the second part, how a good character should lead us to become a good citizen, to realize and recognize our responsibilities as the citizens of the greater fabric of the society, and what are our duties. He also touched upon what happened in Dallas when a rally or where a conference was held by Sound Vision in support of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that conference was meant to invite people from around the nation to bring awareness of what the character of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is and its importance in today's world, where we are facing a lot of challenges and darkness. And it is very unfortunate that a group of Islamophobes, they came out against that conference, that gathering. And it is really alarming that many of those were seen carrying assault rifles with them. You can see that it is not just opposing words by words, but there was a factor of fear and intimidation. In the history, we have seen many such things, ranging from what happened back in Spain, the Spanish Inquisition, where the entire Muslim population was purged from Islam after Muslim rules for several centuries. After being in power and being the ruler of that particular land, the entire Muslim population was purged towards the end in such a way that the Quran were being burned down. Whoever was doubted that he has said La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, they were burnt alive and they were purged and banished from that land. So let's not assume that things which happened in the past could not repeat itself. And in the context of what happened in Holocaust, and I would like to share a quote over here, and that should give us a sense of our responsibility as our citizens, that if we do not act in time, there will not be any time for us to act. The Holocaust illustrates the consequences of prejudice, racism, and stereotyping on a society. It forces us to examine the responsibilities of citizenship and confront the powerful ramifications of indifference and inaction. It specifically talks about the indifference. I do not care kind of attitude, and inaction. I do not want to act. I want to close my eyes and assume things are okay, which may not be the case. So what are our responsibilities as the good citizens? First and foremost, Islam asks us to seek knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is not just limited to the knowledge of the deen, but we have to understand the problems and the challenges faced by the people around us. We have to understand who are those people who are making decisions for us, on behalf of us, the decisions which are impacting you and I, and not just us, but our next generation, our girls and boys, we have to seek that kind of knowledge. Let's put an effort to understand who are those people, who are those candidates who are going to make decisions for us or on behalf of us. The second part is, we are commanded, and in fact we are given a title of Khaira Ummah, the best of the nations. And this verse has been repeated many times. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. That you are the best of the ummah that has been raised to enjoin what is good and forbid what is evil. And brothers and sisters, in today's world, there are many ways to enjoin what is good and forbid what is evil. And one of the best ways is to work with our political system, our legal system, to support the laws and lawmakers which are supportive of what is good. We have to convey the message, what is good, and work with our legal system to enact and support the laws that will enforce what is good. And we have to support the lawmakers and the laws that will forbid the evil. And this is the best way, and it is the responsibility of all of us to act as citizens. By choosing the right leaders, we will be able to do our duty which has been bestowed upon us by our Creator, enjoining what is good and forbidding what is evil. The third responsibility of us as a citizen is to obey the law and order, to move away from the means and mechanisms that will disturb the peace in the society. We are required to be the peaceful citizens, and if we have to make any change, that the change has to come through the legally allowed ways. Last week, or maybe a week ago, myself and one of the other brothers, along with many of the brothers and sisters who came from different parts of the nation, and some of the brothers and sisters came from Toronto as well. There was a conference talking about what is happening around the world, how the Islamophobia is impacting the lives of the Muslims and the youth around the world. And few points I would like to share, and these points should work as an eye-opener. There were a few presentations made. One of the brothers, he made presentation on what's happening in India, where a very large Muslim population resides, and Muslims have ruled India at one point of time for over 1,000 years. He mentioned that there is a forced conversion is going on under the program called Ghar Wapsi, or homecoming, where a lot of Muslims, especially in the rural areas, poor neighborhoods, are forcibly converted to the Hinduism. There are an increased number of attacks on religious minorities, and I will not go into the details because the time is not enough to cover all what is happening around the world. So this is happening in India, Myanmar, Burma. Marriage is required. If anybody wants to get married, that person is required to have a marriage license. If you do not have a marriage license, and if you found to be married, and if you found to have a child outside the marriage, legal marriage, then a person could be jailed for 10 years. 10 years jail, and that is the law of the land. The big problem is, it is extremely difficult, nearly impossible for Muslim Rohingyas to obtain a marriage license. It is not an easy thing. Anytime they apply for a marriage license, sometimes it takes years and years and years, and at times they get denied a marriage license. So you can see there is an active genocide is going on by attempting to limit the population of that community. Can this happen over here? Does not seem likely, but Allah knows best, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. The satellite imagery is showing that the entire area that was populated by Muslims is burnt down to ashes. There is nothing left. Thousands and thousands of homes have been destroyed. Masajids have been burnt down, and they are not allowed to be rebuilt. China, in the province, the Muslim kids are not allowed to fast or go to the masjid during the month of Ramadan. China had employed, this was in the last Ramadan, a great number of retirees and the police officers to man the masjid doors to ensure that only the elderly or older people can go to the masjid, but not the new generation. And recently I read the news, a Chinese imam was forced to take part into a dancing program. France, the headscarf ban for Muslim girls. Pork or no meat for Muslim kids in school. Central African Republic, out of 439 masajid, 423 have been brought down, have been destroyed. Only 12 or 15 masajid are left. Angola officially banned Islam. It is illegal to be a Muslim in Angola. Now what is happening in the United States? We can see there is a rise in Islamophobia. We have seen and witnessed burning down of our masajid in Joplin and in Texas. And anti-Islamic laws in many states, about 9 states when I read that article, but now my understanding is about 23 states have laws. They call it anti-foreign law, but it is meant to limit the effect of Islamic law. And Sheikh Umar Suleiman, I will share that story in a few minutes, inshallah. He talked about that. Now what happened in our local area? Many of the masajid have received a threat, and I would like to share these particular wordings that was received by one of our local masajid in McHenry County, Amco. They get a threat, and I will read as it appears in the newspaper. When they received the threat, this is what they received. We are praying for civil war so we can start shooting you slime bags. We can't wait until it is okay to start bombing you, expletive, and your kids, so we can reduce the number of slime bags being born into this world of ours. And you, like your radical relatives, serve no positive purpose on earth. Keep your eyes open. This is a very, very, very sickening and serious threat. Has ICN received a threat? Yes, ICN has received a similar threat. Not exactly the same words, but similar threat. Now, knowing all what is happening around us, what is the solution? What is the solution? Some of the brothers within the community and myself, we are engaged in various conversations with different church groups and different community leaders, and we keep hearing one thing, that Muslims have to present their case. Muslims have to represent Islam and who Muslims are. And anytime we engage, we always receive positive feedback. The prime question on the minds of many is, who are these Muslims? Who are these Muslims? The research shows about 73% of Americans have not come in contact with any Muslims. And those who have come in contact with any Muslims, they have generally a favorable attitude and favorable view on Muslims. And the question becomes, how can we change this one? And again we go back to Quran. How can we change this state we are in, where a lot of people have unfortunately negative view on Islam and Muslims? And the principle Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, nothing is going to change until we obey the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned, Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Verily Allah does not change or will not change the state or condition of the people as long as they do not change their state themselves. So again, connecting back to the quote I quoted for the indifference and inaction, what is required on our part is action. We cannot be indifferent to what is happening around us. And inshallah, in the second part of the khutbah, I will talk about this specific action. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given a beautiful principle to us, and I will read this ayah from Surah Al-Hujurat. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. O people, I have created you from a male and female and made you into nations and tribes so that you may recognize one another. Indeed, the best amongst you in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who is most Allah conscious. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is knower and He knows everything. So this is the principle given to us, that we are created and we are different for a purpose so that we may know one another. If we isolate ourselves, how could others know us? We have to reach out. We have to make a presentation. We have to make our presence known. And there are many ways we can engage. There are many levels of engagement. One of the engagement level is silent engagement. And that's what Sheikh Yasser just touched upon, having a good character and good conduct, our good actions when we are outdoors, when we are at work, when we are at school. Our good character and conduct should reflect upon the others so that they can understand who we are. Through the social services, when there is a hunger, when there is a natural disaster, our presence, our work, good deeds make a great impact, and that is what is needed. Our interaction, let's teach our kids that when they walk into the classroom, let them have this beautiful smile on their faces towards their teacher, towards their classmates. When they're walking on the street, entering into the school, let them say good morning to the person who is manning the door and who is manning the intersection. At the community level, through the interfaith engagements, let's support the good work of our organizations such as Sound Vision and the CARE and the Muslim Legal Fund, who are there to support the Muslim Ummah and the cause of Islam, inshallah. And last but not least is the political engagement. To be a good Muslim means to be a good citizen, and the good citizens have responsibilities. We have responsibilities to choose the leader who will enforce the laws, to enjoin what is good and enforce the laws to forbid the evil. Brothers and sisters, knowing all of these things, there is an action needed. And I understand it is not an easy thing. I would like to go to work, come home, enjoy time with my family like everybody else. I would like to come here, pray in our masjid, and then spend some good time with other brothers socializing. That's what I want to do, like many of you. But we have to do a little bit more. We have to get out of this cocoon we have created around ourselves. We have to do our part. In local elections, we have to ensure that we have nearly 100 participation. If we are not at the table, we will be on the menu. And the only way we can ensure that we are at the table is to show our presence. If we get out and vote, April 7th is coming up very fast. Local elections are taking place. A new mayor will be elected for the city of Naperville. Let's make sure that if you live in Naperville, anybody in our household eligible to vote, get out and vote. Because if we do not act today, it will be too late to act tomorrow. For the sake of our ummah, sake of our deen, sake of our kids and our future, we have to act. And this is the very little we can do to act. So let's hope and make commitment that inshallah for the sake of ummah, we will do our part to work with the legal system to bring a change what we need to bring in. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداءك وأعداءنا وأعداء الدين. اللهم انصر دينك وكتابك وسنة نبيك وعبادك الموحدين. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، اللهم أرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Oh Allah, give shifa to all of those in our community and beyond who are suffering from sickness. Oh Allah, help our brothers and sisters around the world who are feeling and going through the oppression, whose homes have been destroyed. Oh Allah, help all our brothers and sisters around the world who are facing greater challenges in terms of their deen and in terms of their existence. Oh Allah, help us establish your deen and your word as the word of our life, as the message to the others, inshallah. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, help us achieve our goals in a halal way and help all around us in a way so that they can see your message and they can see the beauty of Islam and the sweetness of Iman. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون واذكروا الله يذكركم والله يستجيب لكم ولذكر الله تعالى خير وأهم أكبر وأقيموا الصلاة.